Hey everyone, Mango7 here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7. And today we get to talk a little bit. So I just came back to making videos. I want to keep everything positive. There's a lot going on with Epic 7 right now, and there's a lot of concerns going on too, and I just kind of want to address that in a positive manner, in a way that we will hopefully be happy about things as we go through. So first thing I want to mention with 7 Star Awakens, if you're not familiar with what they do, there's a lot of info on it. I don't have exactsies, but basically it's another awakening system that is much harder to obtain than the last because of imprints, all sorts of stuff like that, while it also wildly increases the power level of a unit. For example, we all know how good Arowell is because of Escort. Hiccups. And other things, obviously, but now imagine Crow with Escort. Yeah, Crow's just going to get Escort by this. If you don't have the imprints, that's about it. Every new character that comes out from that point on is also going to have all these enabled in them. And they're going to do older units as we go forward. No saying how often and when and why they're going to choose people. But I will say that I'm incredibly scared as a player of the game and a content creator. So I think it's important to talk about it, especially as a non-whale content creator. I'm already unable to cover a ton of units because of Molagora. Like, that's just straight up facts. There's a ton of other units I could use with Molagora. I will make a video on that later because it's kind of hilarious how far behind on Mola I am to be able to Mola units I want to use. But that's a topic for another video. So let's just take a look at this. So the reason why we have this up in the background is because I think this could all be connected, and I'm also very, 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 very terrified about it. So this says Smilegate hires Baekhyun Hoon, former vice president of Netmarble. If you ask anybody about Netmarble, you're probably going to get the same sort of responses, and you know those. As head of Megaport Division. So it goes on talking about him, and you're like, okay. And by the way, this is not right now. This is January, February, March, April, May 23rd of this year. So let's just go through. He introduced several hip mobile games such as blah, 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 and in the Japanese market. He also released 7 Nights, Lineage 2, and 7 Deadly Sins, Grand Cross. So for those who aren't familiar with those very 3 specific games, actually I'm not familiar with Lineage, but I can guess what it was like. They all shared a very similar thing, and that thing was the game was really fun, and then greed took over. The exact same thing for everything. Maybe 7 Nights kind of started out where it was just greed taking over right at the start. But 7 Deadly Sins definitely progressed slowly, and just kept destroying every free-to-play player's dreams. To give you an example, I played 7 Nights heavily. I was in the top guild, like the literal top guild in 7 Nights. I think it was the top guild. It was either number 1 or number 2. I'm sure there's some viewers here that were in that guild with me that can comment in the comments below. But I spent 1 to 2 grand on that game, which is a lot. And I was only able to make it into that guild because I was a content creator. Somebody else that starts with the word must in their names may or may not have spent more money than me and was substantially better on his account than me, even though I was the literal luckiest person on the planet in that game. Like, I could not have gotten luckier. Every gacha I've ever played went into that. There are units in that game that are tenfold rarer than ML5s, for example, and I got like all of them randomly at like 0.001% drop rate. It was ridiculous. And the story, we were getting there. Okay, so we were in the top guild. There's me who spent like a couple grand and got insanely lucky. There's somebody else who may have spent around the same, maybe more, I think more, that was a little bit better than me, and we both played 24/7 basically. By the way, you can run it 24/7. And then there was the next group, the like Dolphins. The Dolphins destroyed us. We had no chance. 0 chance in PvP. It was just not a thing that could happen. You just could not win. And then you had the stages above the Dolphin, which were like the whales. And the whales can't lose to us. They just can't. It's impossible. They're units, they can turn off all their skills, they won't take enough damage, they'll just auto attack and kill everybody basically. There's more to that in a second, but we'll get to it. And then there's the Omega Whales, which do the same thing to the whales as the whales did to us. So basically that was lineage. On top of that, you like pets in Epic, well, no, you don't like pets in Epic 7. You like pets in general, right? They're pretty cute. Well, in 7 Deadly Sins, the pets were like 10 grand for the good pets, and they were like stronger than your entire party. So like your pet might give you a full enemy team silence when you use it for like 10 seconds. Just like they're just done for 10 seconds. Like that's the type of thing that was introduced in Seven Nights. Every single month there would be a new character that directly countered everything else that was rarer than heck. That you then also had to spend a ton of money to upgrade other ways. Basically, it was crap. It was crap. And for anybody who played 7 Deadly Sins, it was the exact same thing once we got into it. Every time a new unit came out, it just decimated the competition, and you were just useless without him, and especially in PvP. So that's the long and the short about this. And that's why I am terrified, because this guy is known for that. It's literally what he does. He turns games into insane moneymakers for a short period and then kills it. Not kills it, but you know what I mean, moves on to the next game. And then sometimes kills it. Like 7 Deadly Sins went from the most fun I've had in a game, I think, both in streaming and the community. We had a private Discord channel that was a lot of fun, to like nobody playing all in the course of like a week. So I just want to go over one of the comments here so you can take it from somebody other than my mouth. Also, Marvel Future Fight they're mentioning. I don't know if that's by the same people, but if it is, that makes sense. And this is the thing. Is the new potential awakening his idea then? And they say, we will never know and can only guess. Blah, blah, blah. We got Biluluka and Lethe, which tried to milk us with imprints. Okay, I never really realized that. So at the start of this, I never put the 2 and 2 together. But it says, note, after this, we got Biluluka and Lethe sub-story. And that is a sub-story where everybody rioted because it was the one that took imprints and otherwise was impossibly hard to do. So you had to summon for imprints to get the story done. So that was already implemented immediately after he was officially announced. And now this. So you can see why I'm a little bit scared going through this. That wasn't the comment I wanted to read, though. There was somebody else who had a very simple thing that explained everything pretty much exactly like I had. Okay, here we go. So this goes back to like old school games, like old school Summoners, like before Summoners War maybe, with Seven Nights 1. Their games end up as greedy cash grabs that milk their players for all it's worth before imploding. As an example, one of the gacha games I played before was Seven Nights. This is Seven Nights 1, not Seven Nights 2, but it's essentially the same thing. It was so nice at first. The Seven Knights, who the game was named for, were the best units. They were the units to go for. My man Jave, I always don't know how to pronounce that. He's like a dragoon dude. Carried me through every content. And there were a few more. There were like Rudy, Jave, and I can't remember who is a Seven Knight and who is like the Seven Knight and who is the Lord, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that. They were cool units and the game was based around them, and lore-wise it was based around them too. Then they released the Four Lords, who were stronger than the Seven Knights. And I don't mean stronger as in like a different kit. I mean straight up do the same thing 10 times better. Literally 10 times better, to the point where the rest are useless. And before, these 4 units basically made the rest of the units useless when you thought about it. So the Four Lords basically nullified the Seven Knights, and then they accepted that. I did too. Tio was your new favorite. Then the Four Lords of Old came, who were even stronger. Then the Dark Knights, who were even stronger. Then the Celestial Guardians, who were even stronger. Then the Seven Knights of Old, who were even stronger. Then the Seven Demon Lords. Then the Apostles of the Abyss. Then the Hide Reapers. Every unit released was so overtuned that it rendered previous units useless. And if you want to reach top rankings in any content that was PvE as well, you need to boost... you need to have the new unit Awaken, Mythic Awaken, with duplicates to further boost their stats. It was so damn sad seeing how it all spiraled into a player milking machine so damn fast, and that's what happened to all the games Netmarble handles. And don't worry, I'm an enjoyer of Netmarble games. I really love them. I think they're fantastic for the first little bit, but it's also why I don't spend money in them and why I don't play them long term is because of this. And yeah, it's just something I wanted to talk about. The other thing I need to mention here is he could have nothing to do with this. We will literally never know. He could be there to start another game. He could not touch Epic 7 whatsoever. He could be there to start Epic 8 or Epic 9 or he could be there to start something like Honkai Star Rail for Genshin. Like that's what he could be there for, and that's what he's probably there for. There's most definitely, like, if somebody like him moves into something like this, he's massive, and he doesn't just do one game. So I imagine he's starting another game, and we will see announcements of another game from Epic 7 sometime soon. Not from Epic 7, from like Smilegate Megaport, whatever the right term is where the game comes from. Do you know what I mean when I say it? I might not use the right term, but or he might be changing Epic 7 and doing that. So it really is up in the air. So I just wanted to get the information out there about why people are upset and what to think about it. So to keep in mind too is the power level of some of these. I just have to keep mentioning that because it's going to be so insane. Like when a new unit comes out, imagine. Okay, let's use this as an example. Ravi is one of the new units that is getting a boost. It may turn her into a monster. It's probably going to. I don't have the Molagor for her ready, and I don't have the imprints for her. But you might think, wow, that's pretty great. I'll be enough to. It'll be enough for me to use her, and I'll be happy. And then a new character comes out. And you maybe can do it again, and then a new character comes out, and then you're like, no way I can keep this up, you know? Like, that's what it comes down to. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to talk about it. I tried to keep this as informative and positive as possible in terms of what it is, right? I tried to keep a smile on my face and be happy. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Maybe get some more information, because you don't really understand what this means. I don't either, to be wrong. Nobody does, but what we do know is this person has been the head representative of the downfall. How do I say this right? This person has been directly related to the downfall of many similar games that were all loved previously, or at least enjoyed previously, that started with a big change like what Epic 7 is having right now. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.